Welcome. We're playing Vaesen tonight. This is not our usual D&D group. We've switched things up a bit. I was taken hostage by the girls from Potions and Potpourri and made run Vaesen. For those that aren't sure what Vaesen is, it is sort of a supernatural investigation monster hunting game that takes place in the 19th century? 19th century? But in the Nordic countries like Denmark and Sweden and Norway and Finland and, up in the north of Europe. And our characters will be investigators trying to figure out mysteries that involve supernatural things. So why don't we quickly go around our table here. Everybody can introduce themselves. Before we do that, actually, I should say that, of course, as always, our sponsor is Canadian Dice, canadiandice.ca. You can jump over to the website, pick up your Christmas goodies for all your friends and family, dice bags, all kinds of gaming paraphernalia, even an adventure that Ryan and I wrote together. Ta-da! And what's that? Nothing. You can use the code OMRD for the initials of Old Men Rolling Dice to get 15% off your entire order. If you're in Canada, that basically means like no tax. It's more than the tax of a discount. So there you go. Ryan, since we're talking about you, do you want to start us off? Who are you playing?
Tonight I'll be playing Dr. Klaus Streiber. I am a doctor / surgeon / psychologist / everything, as you do.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah. Pretty sure you just if you're a doctor, you're just a doctor in the 1800s. So
you think so?
I'll be a little bit of everything.
Good.
If anybody needs any ether, I'm the guy to go to.
Drugs? Any drugs?
Mostly ether.
All drugs combined.
All drugs combined into one.
Maybe cocaine.
A massive drug supply. Jasmine, do you want to go next? Jasmine has the best name ever I've gotten to put on a layout. Simply Dick.
My name is Richard Nichols, or my friends know me as Dick.
Dick Nichols.
I'm a former chimney sweep, but I hitched a boat ride and came over from England, and I'm starting my life new.
I like that. From our friends over at the Vocterror, because we don't do anything around here without the Vocterror. Is that true? I don't know.
I don't know.
Artemis, who are you playing?
I'm playing Liesl Anderson. She's a writer.
She's a writer?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm
not the group mom tonight. That's somebody else's job.
Someone else has to take care of the group.
Out of you.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Keisha.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be you again anyways. I have a hunch.
She can't keep away.
Gotta place your bets now.
That's right.
Right, yeah.
And the gal pals that got me into this mess with Vaesen, was it a concerted or was it just you, Kayla? Did you just drag Keisha along?
Told her about it a lot, but I'm the one that bugged you about it the most, for sure.
Yeah, Kayla's the driving force, and I was just the pom-poms in the background like, yeah, do it, push it, woo!
Well, Kayla, who are you playing?
Yeah, I'm Kayla from Potions and Potpourri, one of the gal pals. I'm playing Dana. She is a occultist that lives and works on the family farm. Nice.
And Keisha, the other half of the Potions and Potpourri. One of you should be Potions, one of you should be Potpourri.
We are. I'm Potions and Keisha's Potpourri.
Oh. What does that say about Keisha?
Smell?
Yeah, she spends a lot of time out in nature and has a lot going on.
Oh, okay.
Inside of her, she has a lot to offer.
I like it.
That's a kind way to say it. I have a lot going on. Yeah, Keisha, that's me. I'm going to be playing Diedrich, no last name, as that is dependent upon the family of whom he is serving.
Yeah.
And that is his entire life and job, is to serve, support.
We didn't really talk about this beforehand. Did you want to be a servant of anyone in the group? or would you like to just be a former servant that's now here for the Vaesen hunting?
You can join this. I'm pretty rich. I'll take you on.
I'm pretty rich.
You also sound like you need assistance, so yeah, let's do that.
Do you want to say that you're like the best man of the doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Why not?
I'm here for it. So let's talk a little bit about like who you all are. So first of all, Vaesen. What are Vaesen? So Vaesen are like old mythical creatures. They could be ghosts, they could be giants, they could be trolls, they could be fairies. There's all sorts of things that would qualify as a Vaesen, but basically any kind of mythical creature. And for a very long time, humans and Vaesen sort of lived in harmony, but a lot of things are happening in Northern Europe right now. There's an industrial revolution sort of happening. Roads and trains are being built all over the place, and some people say that's why the Vaesen have started to act out, to become a nuisance, sometimes even a danger to humanity. The six of you are all what they call Thursday children. And what that means is that you have the sight. So you can actually see things. See Vaesen, see their activities, see evidence of them in the world. And this, in all cases, was brought on by some sort of a trauma in your life. And then afterwards, you could see, you had the sight. Okay. Now, some of you already mentioned that you're not necessarily from Sweden, but you have come to the city of Uppsala. And in Uppsala, there is an old rundown castle that once belonged to a group known as you're going to love this, the Order of Artemis. I'm not making this up. This is right from the book. So the Order of Artemis, they first learned about Vaesen, and they had sort of two halves to this whole. And one was sort of like groups of investigators that wanted to eliminate the Vaesen, like saw them as a threat and a danger, and the other half which sort of wanted to just learn as much as they could about them to find sort of non-violent ways to end any sort of conflict or trouble. Oh, that was perfect. The music there just like went... So you all found yourselves through dreams or just strange coincidence, found your way to Uppsala in Sweden. You learned about the old Order of Artemis, now known as the Society. Again, a weird coincidence, because over on Cantrips and Coffee, we play a Cthulhu game called the Society. But the Society has fallen. The Society has scattered. The Thursday children that were all a part of this community are scattered now. There was sort of a very big uprising, and not all the history is clear, but the six of you are now sort of reinventing the Society. And what we're going to play through tonight is sort of your first case together, your first outing together, your first encounter maybe with a Vaesen. So, we start on a boat. A sloop has a mast and there's a light breeze, and you're all on this boat, and you're there with a priest who reached out to you at the castle, having heard of the Society, having heard of the Order, and believes that you can help him, that you can that he has something going on that relates to your skills. So I'm going to give a handout here of the letter, and let me make this visible for everybody in our audience. Our letter. And then on top of that, because I know reading is a bummer, I have a little bit of voice work here for you, so listen to this.
My name is Oskar Udgren, priest in the village of Fjellbekka. It is with a heavy heart that I write these lines. I am at wit's end with my current predicament, and so I turn to you. My best friend and mentor, Vicar Karl Erik Hedqvist, is dead. His body was found a week ago, washed up on a beach. The coroner has identified the cause of death as self-inflicted gunshot. I refuse to accept this conclusion, certain that there is something unnatural afoot. I know who is responsible. What I lack is proof and the means to do something about it. I last saw Karl Erik alive 1 week before he was found dead. He was once again heading out to Wrecker Isle to bring the word of God to the depraved seafarers frequenting the inn on the island. Wrecker Isle is the site of the largest herring saltery in the archipelago. It reeks with herring and sin, a godless stain on this earth. The proprietors of this den of thieves, herring Baron Zacharias Amundsen and his family, openly defy the teachings of our Lord and have thrown out the vicar every time he visited. I am convinced that the herring baron, his mother, and his feeble-minded but dangerous older brothers, Pete, Pace, and Paul, are doing the devil's bidding. They are to blame for Karl Erik's death. If you wish to help a humble servant in his time of greatest need, meet me in Fjellbekka at your earliest convenience. With highest regards, Oskar Udgren.
So you have answered Oscar's call, and you've met him at the docks in Fjellbekka, and you are on the boat now headed for Wrecker's Island. And he's currently in the midst of thanking you. The ship does have a captain and a small crew. And he tells you that it's going to take, the captain tells you all it's going to take about an hour to reach Wrecker Island. So Wrecker Island is named after sort of it's not really piracy, but there's a lot of strange currents here in the archipelago, and a lot of boats get washed up on shoals and rocky islands. So they get looted, and that's essentially what a wrecker is. Someone who goes and loots these wrecked ships that have come aground. Now, the crew isn't always the crew hasn't always left the ship. So sometimes murder takes place and things like that. So Wrecker's Island has a little bit of a bad rap for being a very tough place. Okay. The communities here in the archipelago are mostly fishermen and specifically herring. So I'll give you a quick map here for that as well. You can have a look.
Hey, Jer.
Yeah.
What time of day is it?
It is the boat left late morning, like maybe around 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
So you're expecting to be there by about lunchtime is the plan. So let's get the archipelago up for everybody to see. And you've left Fjellbekka and you're headed out to Wrecker Isle. Okay. And the young priest, Oskar Utgren, is with you on the boat. And again, he's like thanking everybody for coming, and he believes that the Herring Baron, as he's called, and his brothers and mother are up to no good. Specifically, he thinks they're devil worshippers. So, what would you like to do? He comes around, he shakes each of your hands, thanks you for coming. You come highly recommended. He's like, you come highly recommended.
I doubt that.
By who?
Yeah, it's unclear how he even knows about you all. The letter came to the castle like it was the first piece of mail that you'd received. You'd all kind of settled in and were just kind of cleaning up the castle and making it home. There was some old libraries and things and old furniture under lots of tarps and that there from the previous society. And you're still kind of learning what that's all about. Like not all the answers are there yet. When this letter arrived for you to come and meet the young priest.
Can you tell us about the island specific, like the geography of the island?
So Oscar says that it's mostly granite. Like the isles all around here are very rocky. They're just basically the parts of the mountain that are rising above the water. There's some isles with a little more forest on them than others, but specifically Wrecker Island is just pretty much a barren rock. There's some trees on one side of it, and he tells you that the Herring Baron and his family have kind of set up shop there, and that they run a saltery on the island for salting herring. And he also tells you that the region in the last 20, 30 years has experienced a real boom. The herring were not always here, and and in the last 20 to 30 years there's been like just a boom of them, and fishing is at an all-time high. So the saltery came just in the nick of time, and this is where all the money's been made. But like fishermen are not known for being they're pretty rough and tumble people, and so the island, Wrecker Island, is known for being a pretty rough place. But they can sell their fish there to the Herring Baron, and then he resells it. So they can fishermen can come in with loads of herring, and then they're packed up in barrels here on Wrecker Island and then shipped out to the entire region. So he makes a very good living there.
Where was this body found?
So, Vicar Carl Eric, he says, my mentor, I might add, an evangelist, spreading the word of God, rightly so, was found on a nearby island called Whale Island.
Hmm.
And
that's the closest one. Okay.
He says he must have been in the water for a while, because it looked like the fish had a turn at him. But he was the coroner's report came back that he had a gunshot wound from close range, and the coroner suspected it was self-inflicted.
So the letter said, in the writing, it said in the head, and then he didn't say in the head in the voiceover. So was it in the head?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. And he says to you, Dr. Klaus, I promise you, Carl Eric would not have committed suicide. Impossible.
Hmm. You speak to his mental state the last time you saw him?
Well, he was troubled. He was troubled because he was trying to bring the word of God to this hellish place, Wrecker Island. He'd made several visits there, and the godmother, as she's called of all things, had him thrown off the island. Even threatened if he returned that she'd have him killed.
How did he get to Whale Island then?
The currents, I guess?
You think he drifted all the way from Wrecker Island to Whale Island?
I
Before
expect
his
so.
body was discovered. That seems strange.
Well, do you have a different... if foul play was involved, maybe they took him there to kill him.
It's on Whale Island, by the way.
Nothing.
It's empty.
The captain maybe overhears you, and he's like, there's nothing on Whale Island. There's nothing on many of these islands, just hermit fishermen and the herring baron.
But people do occupy them, correct?
The captain says only in very sparse numbers.
Interesting. Jeremy, question.
Yep,
Do most people not know about the Vaesen?
that's correct.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's correct. But the 6 of you do.
Yes.
Like each of you
So people just
each of you through your traumatic event sort of have come to know there's things there. And you've seen stuff. This is sort of your first case as a group, but you've all seen stuff. You know there's stuff out there. Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, question.
Yes?
Does Dick Nichols have a small dog beside him on this boat?
Dick? Is the dog with you?
Yes, the dog comes everywhere with me.
What kind of dog is it? Is it like a mutt or... Paint us a picture of what the dog looks like.
It's Wishbone. He's going to have costumes on as well.
Yeah,
Of course.
him so
I'm here
much.
for it.
Jack
Main
Russell Terrier.
character right
It's a
now.
Jack Russell?
Yeah,
So
that's what
so it's feisty.
Yeah,
Okay.
really, real talkative, real cute.
Okay. My apologies. I said whale. It's calf isle that he washed up on. Calf
Hmm.
Okay,
isle.
that's what I said too. Then
Okay.
What?
Yep.
And I'm sorry. What makes you think that it was not self-inflicted?
He's a man of God. He wouldn't kill himself.
Hmm.
I must admit that Carl Eric did
Did you do that?
did take a gun with him to the island
Okay.
for
Did
protection.
he
Of
say
course.
why? Just
Well, the
protection.
godmother had said she'd have him killed if he came back. But the word of God must be spread. And spreading it he was going to do. The gun was only for protection.
Why was he so adamant about going here specifically?
Well, the family there that runs the island, they don't have a very good reputation. They were wreckers before they became fishermen, and they made good money at it, I might add. The father passed away. The father of the family passed away, leaving 4 boys. There's Paul, Pete, Pace, and Zachariah. There were rumors that they had done some very awful things, and Vicar Carl Eric wanted to see them change their ways. As well, Wrecker Island is known as, a place of scum and villainy, and all sorts of other seedier things happen on the island. Fisherman, he tries to keep his voice down so that the captain doesn't hear. Passage just stuck. Right in the middle.
Boss, you want to play?
He says so the vicar was just trying to convert them to a better way of life. Don't need all those sailors wandering off the island drunk and causing troubles in other communities, you know.
Did the godmother extend the same invitation to you about returning to the island?
No. I have not been to the island nearly as frequent as Carl Eric. It's been some time since I've been there. I'm not even sure they'll remember me.
So Carl Eric perhaps stirred some things up while he was there.
I would expect so. My mentor was not one to be shy. He would have spread the word and made his distaste of their way of life apparent.
Was the coroner able to determine how long he'd been dead?
Yes, it's just you've had some travel time to get here, but it's been just under a month, a little less than a month since his passing.
No. How? So the time difference between when he went to the island and when he was found dead, like,
yes,
were they able to tell?
A few days.
A few days. Okay.
Yeah. So they put his date of death at approximately a month ago.
A month.
You know, sort of the better part of 3, maybe 4 weeks.
And it was 2 weeks, so
the captain sticks his head down. He goes, I couldn't help but overhearing you talking about the godmother and her boys. Rumor has it that the oldest boy has gone missing for the last few weeks as well.
what was the older boy's name again?
Paul, Pete, Pace, and Zacharias. Zacharias is the herring baron.
She must have ran out of P names.
I doubt that there are many. What are you saying?
Doctor, are they compensating?
No comment.
So, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask the father. So when we land on the island, what is it that you expect to do first?
Well, I would very much look to you and your expertise to see what you think. See if you can find any evidence of the godmother and her wicked children committing said crime. You have done something like this before, I assume.
Thing like this?
Sure.
Not at all.
So there's a mix of a mix of answers. You know what, Artemis, you were very. Is it Liesel or Liesel?
Liesel.
Liesel was very like, yes. So why don't you give me a manipulation check and we'll have our first roll of the game.
Great. I'm really good at this.
No pressure.
You got a success. So yeah. So Oscar says on the island there's the saltery and there's the family home of the godmother and her children, and there is an inn. There's if there's any fishermen that were there the night that the vicar went missing, maybe they know something.
I mean, yeah, we can check there.
So with that, the captain sticks his head down. He says, "We're almost there. And you can see off the bow of the boat, Wrecker Island ahead. There are countless fishing boats and freighters moored far out in the sea. Their bows against the next boat's stern. You can hear the shouting sailors and snapping sails, and there is this smell of sour herring that just sort of floats out, as well as train oil. I had to look this up. Train oil comes from whales. But it's used for all kinds of things. And so the smell of oil being cooked down and the herring, and it just sort of floats out off the island, and you can smell it as it blows across the bow of your boat. There is a very large ship in the dock, and the captain swears as he sees that. He's like, "God damn it. Oh, sorry, Vicar."
Why does that ship upset you?
"Oh, he'll probably take all the herring. Look at the size of that boat. I was hoping to take a load of herring home to sell." So the captain...
Is it a ship you recognize?
"Oh, yes. These guys are always here." He points around. Regulars. That guy's an
Like the big
asshole.
ship.
"Oh, the big ship, yes."
Who is the big ship belong to? Do we see like a flag or anything?
Yeah,
name on the boat?
It of course has a Swedish flag. There's no sort of identifying flag, but the captain. Let me get that for you.
Cedar in chat trying to start trouble already.
The captain is a Jonathan Franks.
Like from Star Trek?
I think
does
that's
the
Frakes.
ship
Isn't
have
it?
a name?
Oh, I don't know the name of his ship.
Okay.
We'll have to wait till she's finished loading. And he begins to sort of steer your ship in a bit of a circle as it waits.
I know that ship. It's called the Bjork.
Of course it is. So, you wait a little bit out here at sea, maybe a half an hour, until that boat finally starts to move. And then your captain, just turns on that wheel and sends your boat in. Not alone. Everyone's racing for dock space. There's a bit of bumping as you pull in, but he does manage to get, 3/4 of the boat against the dock. Ropes are thrown and tied off, and a plank is put out so that you can easily get up onto the dock. The dock is very, like the jetty, very, very busy as people move up and down it with barrels and crates, and ships are being loaded and unloaded. And I have a bit of a handout here for you again. So this is what the island looks like. This is the layout, and I'll get that switched for our friends at home too. There we go. So there's the big warehouse. Now the warehouse is bright yellow. Like, you can't miss it, and it is huge. And there is smoke pouring out of it as, the oil is cooked down, and the stench of the fish. I mean, there's seagulls everywhere as well, right? They're everywhere. And people move then further up the island towards the inn, and the residence sits just before the inn. And there are sailors up and down the jetty, as well as going back and forth from the inn. It's a very busy place. And with it being lunch hour, everyone is grabbing food from the inn, you expect.
The residence being what exactly? Like where the Baron is?
Yeah, where the
Baron
Baron and the Godmother live.
Hmm.
That's the only residence. You can see a few trees around the residence and the inn. The rest of the island is pretty much rock. Like hills kind of move up from this area where the saltery is, and then there's just, you know, barren granite stone.
Perhaps
But
we
it's
should.
not completely flat, right? Like there is a
It's
little
not
bit
completely
of...
flat. There's a bit of a hump and
Okay.
hill to it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Perhaps we should start our investigation over a glass of wine.
Sure.
The as Oscar gets up off the boat, he says, "Aquavit." I think they drink aquavit here, which is
Mead. Do they have mead?
ugh, I doubt it.
Fair enough.
Aquavit and beer, probably. For those that don't know, aquavit is like a potato.
Currently Googling.
Yeah, and it's flavored with
Have like Yeah.
herbs. I can only imagine.
weird herbs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh. That doesn't sound good.
It's not very good.
Better than nothing? Question mark?
Beer.
Yeah, there's beer. There's beer.
Mm.
So you make your way to the inn.
Yes.
As you do so, you approach the building. It's 2.5 stories tall. It's made of wood and looks like a very solid structure. There's a set of steps that lead up to a small landing where the front door is. And down along the base of the building, there's like half a dozen sailors leaning against the wall, chatting and laughing at, you know, raunchy jokes and things like that. And there's maybe down the side of the building, there's 2 men like that decided they weren't going to get to the outhouse, so they've just began to urinate on the side of the building. And the smell of fish is everywhere.
Jeremy, do we see any Vaesen around?
Do you want to give me an observation
I
roll?
would love to.
Mm.
Pull up my character sheet. Observation.
Peter says Aquavit is not that bad, okay?
What's that?
Cedar says it's not that bad.
I don't know. It doesn't. It actually scents. I mean, I don't think it would taste like gin, but when I heard it was flavored with herbs and stuff. So Dana takes a look around and pauses for a moment, and looks about, and doesn't see any Vaesen or anything that looks that way. But just for a moment, underneath the intense smell of fish, Dana picks up the smell of rotting seaweed.
Okay. Seems pretty normal for a place like this.
Fair enough.
Interesting.
So do you make your way into the inn?
Time for
Yeah,
a drink, I
Diedrich
think.
would very much make sure that he opens the door for everyone else very
Aw.
specifically and like gives like a slight bow to
Nice.
lead everyone in
Nice.
and is like sparing a glare at some of these sailors that are looking a little unruly, but
Thank you, sir.
I like that. I like that. Would you let's see here. Why don't you give me a manipulation check as you sort of stare down at these sailors being so undignified.
are we sure we can't do something with my physique? And it just like,
Yeah, you want to do something with your physique? You know what? Just give me a force check then.
okay, great. I can do force.
You know, like
Do a little bit of a pose down there to show your massive physique.
oh my god, please tell me you're like Crunk.
I mean, he's ripped. That's for sure.
He's ripped. He's tight like a tiger.
Okay, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to roll. So I
Okay,
clicked on
so
menu
there should
search,
be
sorry.
a force under skills
Yes.
and physique. There should be a force check. Roll that. Use the force, Keisha. Let it guide your actions.
So be it. Jedi.
Do I input a modifier? Is that going
No,
to be...
there should no modifiers required. You just go straight with whatever it is. And it might be 0, but it will add your physique to it. Is it doing it? There we go. Oh yeah. A few of them move on. They don't want any part of Diedrich. They're like, okay, maybe we should move back to the boat.
Right.
And they head on their way. So you come into the dining room of the first floor. And you look about. You're greeted by a proverbial fog of, tobacco smoke inside the dining room. It drifts out through the open door. A very rough looking group of men and women sit about the inside of the dining room. There is a bartender doing the best he can to keep up with drinks. There is a serving girl running from table to table. And then you see over in the corner, there is a woman with a glowering, resting bitch face, watching out around the room. She has an apron on, so filthy, if she were to walk away, it would continue to stand upright. It has a crust to it. And in her lap, as she sits on this liquor barrel, is a shotgun across her lap. And she watches the room glowering, making sure no one gets out of hand. As you enter, the serving girl sort of crosses in front of you, and she gives you the briefest of smiles. It looks a little forced. She's like, "Find a place if you can." And for just a moment, you notice Oscar sort of, like, he's about to say something to her. Like, he might even know her. You're not... And then she's off and running to another table, and he looks like you can see a clear slump in his shoulders.
Do we see any open tables?
Yeah, a group of sailors are leaving a table right now.
I go to clean the table
Okay.
thoroughly before anyone dares sit at this. Like, I hold up a hand, like, pull out like a handkerchief or something, and I'm wiping everything down, carefully stacking any mugs and such.
Just like the boat had to rush at the dock as well, Diedrich sort of arrives as like another sailor maybe arrives to get his crew seated. And but having shown your size outside, they don't bother with you, and then you take a handkerchief out and start like cleaning off the table. Yeah, there's all manner of things on this table. Some you're not sure what they are.
Fashionable origins.
Yes.
He's cleaned worse. He's not phased.
Okay. All right. So everyone sits down, and then the serving girl sort of makes a loop of the room and makes her way back. And she looks at you all and says, a very quick glance at the table, and then she's like, "What'll you be having?"
Please.
I missed the first part, Kayla. Please, what?
I'll have a pint, please.
Of course. How about the... Wait a minute, is that one old enough to drink? And she points at Dick.
Just a juice for me.
Well, we don't have juice. I could maybe get you a water.
That sounds about right.
Is that a dog?
No.
Please don't let the
I scoot it under the table with my foot.
don't let the godmother see that you have a dog in here. And she glances over at the woman on the liquor barrel and then back to you.
Mars will be on his best behavior, I promise.
Okay, but I didn't see him. Then
What, darling?
she looks to the rest of you. Drinks, food.
We've been traveling all day, you said, yeah?
No. Well, you would have stayed on the mainland last night and then met with Oscar in the morning at the docks. So it's about lunchtime though now.
Aquavit, schnitzel. Okay.
She's like, schnitzel. Yeah, no. We've got salted herring. We've got poached herring. We've got raw herring. Herring stew.
Do you have
Smoked
anything,
herring.
anything without herring?
I could bring you some vegetable broth.
Herring will be fine.
Right.
Smoked herring, please.
And then she stops when she sees Oscar. She's like, hello, Oscar. And he's like, Justina, I'm here with these people to investigate the missing vicar. And you're going to leave with me this time. And she's like, I make good money here. I'm not leaving. He's like, this is look at this den of sin. You can't possibly stay here. A girl like you belongs in a better place than this.
Does she look like she belongs in a better place than this?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. You know, she's dressed in such a way that she fits in, but there's something maybe a little bit more dare I say the word noble, like Justina just, but she doesn't have a hard time fitting in. At that, she turns on a heel and walks away to get your orders.
I get a sense of like he's like just like protective of her, or he likes her, or
Why don't you give me a? Let's see here.
I'm just trying to
give me
deduce,
an
like,
observation there, Dr. Klaus.
Oh, will I?
Oh, will you?
I'm just trying to like deduce the relationship. I
Sure.
suppose.
Sure.
I pushed a button and it did nothing. Hold on.
Well, give it a second. It could just be. It might pop a box that you have to confirm that there's no modifier, in which case it might be under something.
It's not doing anything. Let's just say I succeed.
Hold on.
Oh, there. Mine
Oh,
went.
Liesel's went.
Yeah, that one won't let me roll.
Okay, let me see.
No,
If I, let me see if I can.
I'll close it out. I'll close it out and reopen it.
I'll try rolling it for you.
Oh, never mind. There's the modifier box. It was behind my character sheet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, we'll go with your roll.
Your man beside you has it bad for Justina.
Okay.
And Justina isn't like she's not disgusted or anything by Oscar, but you can definitely tell that she has probably friend zoned poor Oscar very hard. And Oscar is just smitten with Justina.
Okay.
You've seen this 100 times, Doctor. You've talked to patients with this same sort of sickness, the same sort of broken heart illness. And poor Oscar has it bad.
Prescribe some ether.
Probably should do everything.
Diedrich, since you're being sort of protective of the group a little bit here, as you look around the room, there are two men watching you from a corner. They could almost be twins. They're heavy set, dressed in sort of coarse work clothing, and they really could use a dentist visit. Their teeth are in a bad way, and they are watching the party like hawks.
I do want to note that Diedrich. I did not sit down. I am standing at the table, like, hands clasped before me, kind of looking out at everyone. And I also strategically, like, stepped so that, like, hoping my legs will cover any sign of potential dog.
Oh, okay. You're screening the dog? That's very nice of you. Look at you.
Yes.
Okay. All
but
right.
yeah, I'm gonna note that, and I will stare right back at them.
Okay.
I'm not intimidated.
You have far better teeth than them, that's for sure.
That probably helps me with my confidence. Yes, I just give them a little grin. And then...
You smile a little brighter. There's like that minute, just that moment of the light sparkle, the ping, from your teeth as you look across at them, and they don't seem all that intimidated. Like they're whispering back and forth. You get over the ruckus in the room. You couldn't possibly hear what they're saying, but clearly they're talking about this the five of you gathered at the table. There's no need to discern that.
So Justina said that woman over there with the shotgun is the godmother. Do we want to observe from a distance, or shall we engage?
I'll do whatever the doctor directs.
Can I go up to the bar?
Sure. Yeah. The bar keeps serving some sailors, and you can see Justina behind getting your guys' order ready on a small wooden tray. She's got drinks halfway poured.
Yes. I'll pull out a little bit of cash to get his attention.
Oh, that gets his attention. He's right there for you, Dr. Klaus. Can I help you?
Yes. I was wondering if you've seen a friend of mine.
I've seen lots in these
Vicar,
parts.
do you know Vicar Carl?
Vicar Carl.
Carl?
And he looks down the bar immediately to the godmother and then back to you. I haven't seen the vicar in almost a month.
I slide some more money across the table towards him.
Yeah, definitely. A month he hasn't been here. Came in preaching, and then he sort of motions to the two guys that I mentioned in the corner. He goes, got thrown out of here on his ass by the boys.
And that was a month ago as I try to logic the shit out of him.
He's like, that was a month ago. And you don't sense that he's lying to you.
And he was thrown out by the Humpty and Dumpty over there.
Yeah, that's right. Those two put him out right on his keister. You don't look much like a sailor. What are you doing here?
I'm a doctor, actually.
A doctor?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of doctor?
Oh, all types.
With that, Justina moves up from the behind the bar, and she's like, "Doctor, I've got your stuff right here. You're gonna love the herring."
Indeed. I'll head back to the table.
Yep. Justina comes back and starts putting everybody's food and drinks in front of them.
She
even slips maybe a little bit of herring under the table.
That's cute.
I'll tell them what they told me.
Okay. She says, pardon me for asking, and I overheard you a little bit, Doctor, at the bar, but what are you all doing here? If not fishermen, is this your... are you people of the church? Oscar maybe brought you?
Oscar brought us, but I wouldn't say we're people of the church. We're just here looking for answers to some questions that we've had.
Oh. What sort of questions?
Well,
She's moving around the table, sort of reaching over people, putting plates down.
we were wondering what became of the vicar, Eric Carl.
Oh.
Carl Eric.
Same thing.
Yeah.
He was here about a month ago. He got into quite an argument with Abella, and she sort of, without looking, motions over her shoulder at the woman in the corner. Had a real loud argument with her and the Herring Baron himself. Pete and Pace threw the vicar out. He swore he would return, and then Abella said he'd best not if he valued his life.
What was the argument about?
I don't recall.
Kind of nod my head over at the two guys that are watching us.
Yep.
Who are they?
That's the godmother's two boys, Pete and Pace. They're as dumb as they are ugly.
And where's Paul?
I'm not really sure.
And sorry, he's the one that's missing, yeah?
He's the one that's rumored to be missing, yes.
Okay.
For about he's been missing for about a couple of weeks, almost
right?
the same amount of time, that's right.
Serious.
With that, suddenly the godmother is at your table.
Oh, shit.
And it's kind of... She's pretty spry. Like, you did not hear or see her coming. It's just like suddenly there is this crone on the corner of the table. She's like, "Less talk, more work, Justina." Yes, godmother. And she smiles to you all and moves away from the table. She goes, "What's this I hear you're talking about the vicar?"
Is she holding a shotgun still?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Not pointing at her or anything. It's just sort of on her shoulder. And she looks down at Oscar and says, "Don't you be thinking to take up where he left off either."
Where's that exactly?
Coming around here saying me and my kids worship Satan.
Do you?
Whoa! She's insulted by that. She's, "How dare you? In my very own place."
It's just a question.
"Of course not." And
Well, then there shouldn't be a problem.
She pulls out from under her filthy apron a cross, as if that's to, give her credential.
That checks out.
So are you just eating and drinking and leaving? Or do you want a room?
We don't know if we need a room, but we aren't just going to eat and leave. We thought we would stroll around the island and get all the sights.
Well, go look out the feckin' front door then, will ya? And you'll see everything the island has to offer.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I personally like to walk a new place to get to know it a little bit better.
Oh, do you?
If it's all the same to you, of course.
She squints down very hard at you, and you can smell her apron. Like it needs seriously needs a washing. There's also a body odor that is sort of floating across the table now too. She's like, and then she just turns on a heel and walks away again.
Does she go back to like where she
Right
was?
back to her
Does she go
barrel,
talk to-
right back to her gargoyle-like perch, sits down on it and like glowers at the room. And you do see her like point at the two ugly boys. Points at her eyes and then points at your table.
And you said that Pete and Pace are twins?
They could be twins. You're not sure.
Sure.
There's definitely family familiarity there. Like, they look alike.
Well, where should we start? Not a lot to go on.
Well, perhaps we can ask some questions without the godmother breathing down our necks. Maybe we could go find somewhere else and ask some questions of some townspeople.
Maybe Dick could sneak in through their chimney.
Yeah, I am a pro.
I'm kind of here for that. For certain.
I mean, if they're here, no one's at their house.
As you say that, a man sort of trips into your table. A fisherman, a sailor, clearly drunk. Clearly
Did he
drunk.
spill anything?
Why don't you give me everyone give me an agility check to see if your drink tips or if something gets knocked off the table.
Is this long-haired fellow the one who bumps into us?
Yes.
Agility, you said?
Yeah, give
Surprisingly, I succeeded.
me an agility roll.
I definitely passed.
God.
Dick did not.
Dick, that's what you're good at.
Oh no.
So, Liesel, your herring, your bowl of like, poached herring falls on the floor, and Dick's cup of water gets tipped over, and he's like, he just looks about you, totally disoriented as he gets up, and then he looks right into Dana's eyes. And he says, "Oh, the sea gives and the sea takes away. Soon it will take you too if you're not careful." He then pushes himself
Love a
off the
local
table. Pushes himself off the table and starts to walk away. And then he stops at the door and he looks back at Dana again. He's like, "The new moon is almost here."
I will take that to heart, sir.
And then he pushes his way out the door, and you think you hear him fall down the steps.
That tracks.
Justina comes back to the table. What's that, Keisha?
I immediately clean up any mess there is.
Yeah, Justina's
from
there
that
too,
whole thing.
helping. Justina's there too, helping. She's like, I'll get you a new cup of water, and I'll replace that herring. You'll have to excuse old Orvar. He's kind of, well, he's been here longer than anybody, but he's a bit of a drunk.
Seem. What does he mean by the sea taking things away?
I don't know. He's always talking like that.
Is the lunar cycle, does that have any significance to me and like what I know of spirits?
Let's see here. Why don't you give me Dana can roll me either. Let's do a learning roll from Dana. So Dana does know that like lunar cycle can play a role in the lives of Vaesen. There's a number of creatures that, you know, the moon certainly has influence over. Werewolves jump to mind.
I kind of just say quietly to the group, I wonder if he's describing one of the Vaesen on this island. I haven't seen any signs of them yet, but I suspect that some of their work would be found here.
So Justina comes back with the replacements that were tipped, and she says, we do have some rooms available if you'd like to stay.
I don't know how long we'll be here.
Did Eric Carl stay here?
Occasionally the vicar stayed.
Was there a particular room he stayed in?
No, I don't think so.
Well, all right, I tried.
Did he ever keep company with somebody?
She looks down at Oscar and says no.
Yeah.
She's not trying to hide anything. She's trying to reassure him that, you know, the vicar was not up to anything of ill repute while he was here on the island. She says, no. He would stay if the boat that he came out on was staying over for the evening. Now, she does give you the price to stay here, and it's absurdly expensive. So absurd that only someone with a resource of 4 could actually afford to stay a night here.
Do you often have travelers that can afford that price?
The sailors are paid very well for their loads of herring. And of
so
course,
your rooms,
the ships that run the liquor to us.
and your rooms are often full then.
Mm-hmm.
Curious.
The ships that run the liquor, they come in from the mainland?
Yes. Mm-hmm. From Fjallbacher. Fjallbacher.
Yeah. When's the last time you received a shipment from them?
I think just today. A ship with beer, I think, came in.
Beer, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Has there been anything strange on the island recently?
Strange.
Apart from old Orvar.
No, I don't think so. Strange.
No
What sort of
rumors
strange?
or anything? Anything that goes beyond fish and whales.
Only that the herring have been, you know, in very large numbers recently.
In comparison to normal? Or what do you mean?
Well, this year's catch has been very good. Even when you compare it to recent years.
Is anything different this year beyond that?
I don't think so. Just luck, I suppose. The right currents.
And the fish started coming here, you said 30 years ago?
About 30 years ago. Yep.
How old is Zach? Is it Zacharias?
Zacharias.
Yeah. Do you want to ask?
Yeah. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
How old are the kids?
The two in the corner are probably in their 50s.
Oh,
The two
wow.
boys?
Yeah, the two boys.
Okay.
And she tells you that Zachariah 30s, maybe 40. He's very good looking for his age.
Hmm.
There's our connection. And the oldest one who's missing, or hasn't been seen, or whatever, he's just
He was the
somewhere
oldest.
else. And he was what age?
Oh, almost 60.
Okay. Oh, well. So why is the youngest one named differently from the other? Any idea?
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't dare ask.
No, I suppose not.
I'm sure
When
you
is the
could.
last
I'm
time
sure you could
anyone's
ask
seen
him.
Zacharias?
Oh, he's here on the island.
Whereabouts?
Most likely at the home. He has a study there where he runs the business from.
Is he like his mother, or nice, or a combination of the two?
Oh, no. She's the only one. I mean, an old woman and a widow at that. So with that, she cleans things up, brings anybody additional drinks or that they'd like. What would and gets back to work. But Dr. Klaus, you notice that poor Oscar's eyes just follow her around the room.
Hmm.
He maybe leans over to you and he's like, "You see what I meant? That woman is definitely in league with the devil." And he motions to the godmother.
What makes you so sure? Angry people aren't necessarily in league with the devil.
Well, she's not kind. And she makes
That, again, does not mean
massive profits off of selling liquor.
that just means that she's a smart business person.
No. That sort of business. Good, honest people don't run those sorts of businesses.
Vicar,
I mean,
how could a woman in league with the devil be wearing a cross safely around her neck?
Oh, they know how to hide their ways. I'm not fooled.
Was he like the same, like the guy, Carl Eric was his like mentor?
Yes.
So presumably higher up in.
Well, just an older.
Okay.
Oscar's fairly young, like just about 20, 24, maybe 25 years old. But they are of a denomination that is specifically sort of evangelistic and very very preachy, very up on their soapbox and spreading the word of God.
So all these heathens. Got it. Okay.
Exactly. So did you guys said you were going to go take a look around the island? Do you move out to do that then?
probably should
I'd
before we
say
lose
so.
daylight.
Okay.
We should also check with the captain how long he plans to stay, because that might dictate how long we plan to stay.
That's a good point. We can't afford to rent a room, so
Yeah, Oscar lets you know that he's arranged that the captain will stay as long as we need him.
If we need to rent rooms, I can take care of it. But
then we
I'd
all have
rather.
to share a room, and I would rather not.
Oh no! I can get a room for everyone.
Oh goodness.
I mean,
Medicine is quite lucrative.
I couldn't accept that, doctor. That would make me uncomfortable.
Okay, you can stay on the boat.
Okay with that?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's take our break there, and then when we come back, you guys can continue to explore the island and try to figure out what's going on here. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still think we should dick down the chimney.
I'm all for
Put
putting
that dick in
I'm
the
all for
chimney.
putting dick down the chimney.
If it'll fit. Ayo.
We'll be right back. Dick will fit. Dick always fits. boy. Okay, so the party goes
Kayla,
outside.
what are you drinking?
The party goes outside. Yeah, what are we drinking?
Yeah,
Canada Dry.
muted.
It's apple cider. Fresh
Okay.
apple cider.
Nice.
Nice.
Ooh. What's it look like? Something weird?
No.
It looked like something with peach in it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
No, it has all the
Flavors.
sediment though, because it's like fresh. But
That's a
I just
good
poured it, so
cider.
I'm like, God. I'm like, how did all the sediment get in here?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm here for it.
It's good.
So you walk out the front door of the inn, and it goes from smelling smoke and tobacco and the godmother's apron to an overpowering smell of fish and salty air blowing in off the sea. There, as I said, there are fishermen moving back and forth from boats still loading up. You notice that some of the boats down on the jetty have changed while you ate and drank. The herring is particularly good. If your character is not really into eating herring, if that is not their thing, even if they tried it, it was palatable. But if your character likes that sort of thing, it was delicious. So
My
No.
character wouldn't know. My character didn't get an order in. But continue.
yeah, I noticed that. You just stood guard.
Yep.
Feed your servants, people. Feed your servants. So as you walk out, you see the hustle and bustle moving around, but you also see just outside of the family home a man very well dressed. He has a dark blue overcoat on, a damn near perfect mustache, and he's speaking with a number of sailors there. And you have to assume that that's the herring baron, because he's the only one actually dressed like not in sort of work clothes.
Is Oscar around? Was it Oscar?
Yeah, you look around and realize, Diedrich, he didn't come out. He stayed behind at the table.
Is he looking at that girl?
Young love.
Indeed. Young love indeed. So one of the sailors points in your direction that's talking to the Baron, and he looks over and takes all of you in and even gives you a bit of a wave. Hi.
What do we think? Talk to him first, since he's outside? And then...
I think at this point it would be rude to not acknowledge him now that he's seen us.
There.
Well,
Somebody who's
let's
better
go
at
say
talking
hi
than me
then.
do it.
Okay. The group of you walk. Is everyone going to go over then?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. These are just the type of people. He is just the type of person, Dick, that you're good at hiding from. Like, people like him don't usually see people like you. So as the group makes its way over, the man sort of quickly finishes up whatever he's talking about with these sailors and smiles, pats them on the shoulder, and they move on their way. And then he turns to greet you. He says, "Welcome. I'm Zacharias Amundsen. Some people call me the Herring Baron, but please, Zacharias. What brings you here to Wrecker Island? You don't
Well
look
met,
much like
Zacharias.
sailors."
No, we're not. I'm Dana, by the way. These are my associates.
My pleasure, he says.
Your reputation precedes you, sir.
Oh, well, hopefully a good one.
As we've heard so far, yes.
So, you're not here with one of the sailing ships. Are you business then, perhaps? Are you
Sort.
looking to negotiate for herring shipments or something else?
We are negotiating. The ship we came on is taking herring back with them, if that's what you mean.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Indeed. So, tell us, if you don't mind, what does a herring baron do, exactly?
Well, he motions to the massive yellow saltery. He says, the fishermen sell me their herring. We salt and pack them here. And then, of course, put an additional charge on for that service. And then sell that back to either the sailor or directly into the towns along the coast. And, of course, then my mother runs the inn. Lots of mouths to feed and gullets to drown and spirits and beer. But, I mean, these men and women work very hard at what they do, and he motions down at the boats getting loaded and unloaded. So what's, why not? A little bit of fun in the evening.
Let's cut to the chase here, Zach. Can I call you Zach? Okay.
He seems a little taken back by that.
We're investigating a murder, Zach.
A murder? Well, clearly you don't somehow think I'm involved in something like that.
I don't know. Do you know Eric Carlton? Carl Erickson?
Carl Eric.
Carl Eric?
Two first names. Very difficult. Very tricky. He's like, of course. The vicar. He comes out here trying to convert and, tell us what we're doing here is... What's the word he used? Abomination, I think he used, yeah. He constantly argues with my dear mother. It's very hard on her emotional well-being.
And how do you feel about that?
Oh, I don't really have any feeling about it. I mean, I understand the vicar's just doing, what he feels is best. I do wish he would leave my mother alone, though. I mean, preach. I asked him to preach down on the dock on the jetty. I mean, I don't stop him from coming here. I haven't seen him in a little while, though, but I expect he should be back very soon.
What was the exact date you saw him, and what were you doing?
The exact date? My, this is feeling... Can I have your name?
That's not important.
Really?
Oh, I'm kidding. I'm Dr. Klaus Stryber.
A doctor?
That's right.
Well, I am very... It's a pleasure to meet you, Doctor. And of course, Dana, and he looks to Liesel and Diedrich. And the two of you?
You may call me Liesel.
I will, then. And who's this strapping lad?
Simply observing. Pretend I'm not here.
Oh. Doesn't even acknowledge Dick.
Of course.
Well, listen. I would love to get to know you better. Clearly you have more questions. I'm not sure that I can be much help. If you'd like, though, you're welcome to come to my house for dinner, maybe?
Oh, does your house have a chimney?
He looks. Yes.
Excellent.
You're cold.
What's for dinner, herring?
Well, of course, herring, yes.
Do you get sick of eating herring every day?
Never. There's so many ways to have it. You know they call it the silver of the sea?
Boil it, mash it, stick it in a stew?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'll have my maid do up a lovely dinner for you if you come. And you can ask me all the questions you want about the vicar.
Works for me.
Yeah.
See you there, sir.
Excellent.
Yeah. Mind if we take a look around?
No, of course. My island is your island. I mean, if you're here to track him down, though, I don't know when he'll be back.
Oh, that's okay. You let us worry about that, sir.
All right then.
Good day.
He nods to you, and turns and walks back into his home.
Sorry, I took a bit of a heel turn on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, Cedar goes, what's Bingo doing here?
Dr. Stryber is also a psychologist, apparently.
Yeah.
Doctor of many things. Jovial chap, wasn't he? Zacharias.
Not
Can I
at all.
take pictures? So one of the items that I have is a camera.
Yes.
Can I take pictures then
Yes.
of like the house, the island,
Yeah.
like the warehouse, obviously, like the docks, and like
Yep.
as I'm looking through the little lens of my camera,
Yeah.
like I'm really specifically looking to see if anything looks strange through the lens.
Sure.
Is it like one of those cameras where you gotta put the like flap over your head and you're like,
I would expect so.
Probably.
I would
This time
expect
period.
so. Or something
Yeah, I mean,
similar.
it depends on what
Something
year it is,
similar
but
to
yeah.
that. Yeah. And the game
like
the game specifically says like don't narrow down the year or anything like that. Just say it's the 19th century and if in your 19th century there's typewriters, then there's typewriters. Like it's very loose and free
like
with that.
bulbs exploding from the flash?
I don't think there's probably bulbs exploding, no. But there might be a flash of some type.
So
and
they would
I
have
think
had,
I
like,
think there's a
little ones
bonus.
that you...
I think there's a bonus on the camera as well. Is there not? There's like maybe a 1 or 2 dice bonus beside it.
Yes. 2.
Yeah. So if you use that while investigating, like you get a 2 dice bonus on your investigation check.
Okay.
Okay. So you start taking some photos.
I have strong poison. How do you guys feel about me poisoning him?
Please don't.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Just trying to get a read of the room here.
Okay. As Lisa takes her pictures, and the party discusses the jovial nature of the herring baron, you hear a bit of a like, let me go, okay, I'm going, and poor Oscar is ousted down the steps of the inn by none other than Pete and Pace. And could I have you all make an observation roll as you do that?
Can I do that through my camera?
Yeah, I'll even give you a +2 dice roll. Yes, with your observation on using the camera.
So that means 2 in the modifiers then?
That's correct. Yeah. And it was not helpful at all. So, Doctor, I think you're the only one that got a success in that round of rolls. As they stand at the top of the stairs, they're like, take your holier than thou ass back to your boat. You do notice that one of the large rotund men has a revolver in sort of his front belt loop. You can see the handle. However, it catches the light of day, catches the sunlight. It's a bit of a glint. It's sort of a showpiece, and it's not what you would expect on these grubby sort of thug-like men. And then and you just see it for a moment, and then they go back into the inn. Poor Oscar picks himself up. He's got a big shiner on his cheek, no doubt going to bruise.
Does anybody in our group know about like firearms?
Does anyone have a firearm in the group?
Yeah.
Oh, of course Diedrich does. Yeah, so Diedrich knows a little bit.
Packed. What does packed mean?
I'll mention
Also
to
that.
Diedrich.
Oh,
I'll
Keisha.
I'll mention to Diedrich that I saw a rather nice looking sidearm on Humpty or Dumpty, whichever one.
Okay. And you see poor Oscar stand up, and he sort of has rolled over on his ankle, and he's limping his way back down towards the boats.
Oscar.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Ruffians.
Are you injured? I could take a look at you if you like.
Did they split? Did my cheek split?
I don't know, but I have a motivation to inflict it.
You notice that his cheek is not split, and he probably has a sprained ankle from the fall down the steps.
Oh my! Let me take a look at that.
What were you doing that you got thrown out?
I was just explaining how Justina is better than that place, and that she really needs to leave with us when we leave.
That's for her to decide. I have no idea what accent I'm working on tonight. Like I've gone through 3 of them so far.
It's all of your characters' accents.
It's literally all of them.
He says, well, I've known her for so long. We went to school together. This place, it's something horrible is bound to happen to her here. And then those 2 thugs came over and started handling me out the door, and I noticed that one of them has Carl Eric's gun.
That
was Carl Eric's gun, huh?
I think so.
Fancy one.
I think so.
Interesting. That was a
How do you know?
good
has
notice.
like a cross on the handle.
Yeah. An inlay.
It was a bit of a showpiece given to him by one of his parishioners. And when I called them out on it, that's when they hit me, and then they threw me out the door.
I mean, that makes sense. They might have stolen it from him when they threw him out last time.
I'm going to go down to that boat and see if the captain and his crew will come back, and we'll take Justina out of there by force if we need to.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, because the girl will never forgive you if you do something like that.
That's true, Oscar. You can't make a woman love you.
Does Diedrich doesn't agree?
It's just the fact that you outright say you can't make someone love you, and he's like, I'm not talking about love.
Either who has higher, Dana or Liesel? Who has the higher inspiration?
But 2.
As you sort of give him a pep talk and then does
0.
Why don't we have Liesel then roll inspiration? But because Dana's helping on this, you can add an extra dice.
That's just modifier 1, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
There you go. So he goes, no, I suppose you're right, Liesel. I care for her deeply.
That's very obvious.
See that?
What?
What?
Shh, Diedrich. Shh.
Maybe I'll just go back to the boat.
Oscar, I have another question before you go over there.
Oh, okay, yes, of course.
What you said that you and Justina grew up together. What prompted her to come work on the island?
Oh, she's fearless. She's fearless, and times were hard before the herring came. So I think when she heard there was...
You weren't even born yet.
No, exactly. But the people around here know prosperity, know, what it's like to be destitute. Her parents, not very well off. No one's going to tell her how to live her life, though, as you can see. And she came here, I think, because she makes such good tips from the sailors.
If that's the case, then perhaps she won't have to work here too long if she's able to save up some money and buy herself something decent.
No, you're right. You're right. I'll give her some space, then.
I think that's for the best.
I'm going to retire to the boat for a little while, but I'm sure that's the vicar's gun in Pace's pants. Dreadful. He stands up with a wince and starts limping down towards the boat. Dick, everybody's been doing a lot of talking in that. Are you and your dog still there, or have you slipped away?
Oh yeah, I want to look around. I want to see if there's anything spooky. Like, can I feel any Vaesen? Is my dog freaking out at anything?
Yeah, you maybe noticed that when why don't you give me an observation roll? Give me an observation roll, and I'll give you an extra dice because of your dog.
Well then.
You don't sense anything, but what was the dog's name?
Morris.
Morris. When everyone was talking to the Herring Baron, Morris seemed a little more agitated than normal.
Also, you said he was going to be in costumes, and I've heard about no costumes.
He's got a detective hat on that rivals mine. It's much better.
Perfect.
So have you stayed with the group, or have you gone off looking around? And if so, where?
Does the next room over have any people in it? I don't want to go too far away in case I get myself in a sticky situation with my dog here, but I do want to see if there's anywhere I can loot.
Okay, so you're outside the inn right now, so you could try to go and see if there's a back door to the inn, or you could go down to the saltery, or you could try to sneak into the Herring Baron's house.
Yeah, why not sneak into the house?
Jesus. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so going through maybe the servant door.
Yeah, I'm sure that I could fix myself up to probably look like the other help that worked there.
Okay, why don't you give me a stealth check as you make your way in? So you slip inside the house, and it's very nautical themed. Of
course it is.
Yes. It's got a heavy nautical theme to it. You manage to avoid, though, there is a woman working in the house, and you manage to sort of avoid her as she moves around the main floor. There is, on the ground floor, there's a drawing room, there's a kitchen, and a storage room, as well as a dining room. There is a second floor, and you hear, I'm going to say that you slipped away while they were talking, but you do hear the Baron come in through the front door, and he calls out for Laura, and the woman that you've been avoiding on the main floor goes to speak to him, and you overhear him saying that there's going to be guests for dinner, and that, things will have to be prepared.
Okay, perfect. I can maybe sneak back in with a guest later. I was told by the creepy old doctor that he would reward me handsomely if I found this gun. So maybe I'll poke around and see if it's out here or on the second floor.
Okay, so you head up to the second floor. Why don't you give me an investigation check then, as you prowl around the second floor. Okay, so Dick pokes around on the second floor. You find a bedchamber and a study, along with bedrooms. There's quite a few bedrooms on the second floor for the godmother and her 3 children, but as well as Zachariah's room. So there's one that's 5 rooms in total. However, when you open the room into the study, there's all kinds of
Fireballs.
books all over the walls. There's bookshelves everywhere, and the desk has lots of paperwork strewn out all over it. It looks like he's been working on something. As well, when you open the master bedroom door, you know, it's got a large 4-post bed, and there's paintings of the ocean and sea vessels, and even a couple of sea creatures like krakens and all manner of beasts in the sea, sharks, massive whales. But there is a musty odor, and the entire room stinks of seaweed, rotten seaweed.
Does it smell like it's coming from any particular area, or just like the whole room?
It's like it's in the bloody walls, like it's everywhere, and it's a little bit nauseating, to be frank.
Do I feel like something that might be attached to seaweed is looking at me right now?
Give me an observation check.
Remember, you can always make a quick escape through the chimney.
You don't feel like there's any eyes on you. And then you hear a creak on the steps, like someone's coming upstairs.
Is there another way out of this room?
There is the chimney.
Fuck yeah.
I would expect the master suite has a fireplace.
Okay, I am opening that thing and I am crawling up.
Okay. I'd like you to give me a stealth check, but because it's the Baron himself coming up, and you do have hobo tricks, you can have a +2 bonus on stealth to avoid rich people. So go ahead and roll a stealth check with a +2. Your little dog quickly jumps into your jacket or wherever you carry him when you go up and down chimneys, and the two of you like duck into the chimney and start to climb.
That is the most hobo of escapes.
Yeah, he's in my oversized coat.
As you're climbing the chimney, your hand touches something sort of gooey. And
Does it feel like seaweed?
No. There's like rotting starfish and things like that stuck to the inside of the chimney here.
Cool. I'm gonna pocket a little bit of that and just keep drilling up.
So let's jump back outside with everyone. You finished your conversation with Oscar, and he's on his way back to the boat, and then you look around and realize that Dick is nowhere to be. There is no Dick here on the island.
Where's the young Richard? I'm a little panicked.
Do I look up and see him popping out of a chimney?
I feel like in a moment you will. Yes.
So long until dinner time.
Yeah, you have a couple hours.
you think maybe we should go get that gun back?
What are you gonna say? Hey, give me the gun.
Well, I could maybe talk him into giving it back. I can be pretty persuasive.
I do actually believe that. Well,
Or Deidre could just hit him.
Not only can you be persuasive, just because we're new to this game, you do in your items have a bottle of wine, which can even add to your persuasion check as you offer up good wine.
Or strong poison.
Or both.
Again, I don't think that's a necessity. At least not yet.
I think that his gun might have anything to do with. That would technically be the murder weapon, since he was, I would assume, shot by his own pistol.
Did
It
we
might be worth-
clarify that? If
Well, they said
The
they thought
coroner's
it was-
report.
They said that it
The
was-
coroner's report said that he had been shot at close range with a pistol, most likely. Like that, it wasn't a rifle or anything like that.
And it was most likely self-inflicted.
And
Right.
Oscar had told you that the vicar had brought a pistol with him.
I did need to ask earlier if anything else was found, like on the person, like was the gun still there? I don't know if that was ever actually
Okay,
asked.
so I can. That's okay. So no, no weapon was found on him. It's assumed it
Okay.
sunk, like he shot himself, fell in the water, and got washed away, and the gun is wherever he fell into the water. That was the assumption of the coroner. But he must have been in the water for a few days because, like, some sea life had sort of nibbled on him.
I think I could try to go get this pistol back.
At which point, I feel like you guys noticed Dick climbing out of the chimney.
Just hear-
Dog first. I gotta make sure he's safe.
Just
what
see
are you doing, lad?
A little
Where'd you
detective
come
hat
from?
sticks out of the chimney first.
Dana, maybe don't call attention to him.
Oh, fair point. Fair point.
Let him
Oh my
come
god,
to
look at
us.
that dick coming out of that chimney.
Look
Deidre
at
is
that! Whoa!
So relieved right now. Like, ugh.
But also now he has to get off of the roof.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sure he can handle that.
Oh yeah, I think Dick is good on roofs. Like, down you come.
I show them my
Sorry,
like
Affy's not here to make dirty jokes. Somebody has to do it.
True.
Oh, don't worry. We'll make sure.
my pocket aquatics that I found
So
on my way up.
Dick climbs down the chimney, and maybe you meet him at the bottom of the chimney. You're sort of around the side of the house, and yeah, there's these old, rotten, sort of starfish, mollusks, mussels, things like that you would expect to see, like barnacles stuck to the bottom of a ship.
And you recognize that smell, Kayla? Does
Yeah.
it smell like the seaweed? Like that's what the
No.
barnacles smell like?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But yeah, well, no. Let's say the stuff does sort of have that scent as well, because
And I'm sorry, Dick, you said you found this inside the chimney.
radio.
the dog's like, "Burr."
As far as I'm aware, starfish don't go inside of chimneys. It's a little strange.
Isn't it true that if the chimney has been in use, that no sea life would be able to habitate it?
You would think so.
So I
I'm
guess they're
no-
not much for cozy fires.
I'm no chimney expert, but
Somebody here is.
So
I defer to Dick
okay.
on the chimney information.
Dick has never found sea life in the chimney.
And okay, question. So we all know that each other has had sort of like experiences
Yeah.
with other things.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of this.
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
that the short time that you've gotten to know each other at the castle while you were cleaning things up and making it habitable, you've all maybe discussed your traumatic incident that gave you the sight. Maybe not, though. I'm not saying everyone has, but everyone, has at least agreed that like they saw something that or had an experience in their life, and then they could see the Vaesen afterwards.
I would love to hear anyone's trauma if
So,
they're willing to give it up.
Here's my sort of realize this is going into group mom territory here, but if we all have seen these things and we go around and we mess with whatever is on this island, that is not going to just affect the murder that we are investigating, but it's also going to affect the people that are supported by all of this fish. Because I've sort of put, like, fish started coming around 30 to 40 years ago. If we start messing with stuff, it's going to mess up the local ecosystem, and it's going to mess up all of the people. So we got to decide kind of before we go to dinner what our plan is.
Well, if this surgence of like fish suddenly showed up, that in itself could have messed up the natural ecosystem too.
Yeah, it
but
could
if
be
people
Vaesen
are
related.
struggling- Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we
It is a lot to consider, though. Yeah.
because
Many
it could
lives.
mess up not just like it could mess up everything in the area. So that's something to consider.
Yeah.
And
What I want to know is it a lack of Vaesen or a surplus of Vaesen that's caused the herring to come to this island?
What
Well,
is there like a
and that-
cost for this?
that's sort of how we have to talk about like going into this dinner. Are we going to be open about what it is we're looking into, and just be like, we know something is wrong?
I think I
Just
already
sort of
kind of
lay
blew
everything
that.
We should
Or-
casually bring it up because I saw paintings inside of their room or whatever depicting like strange stuff, so they know that something's out there.
Okay. The question is, how open do we want to be when we go to dinner?
Don't think we should talk about Vaesen, but I think we can allude to knowing that there's otherworldly phenomena.
Okay.
Sidebar, I'd like to go get that pistol if anybody wants to
Okay.
help.
Yeah, we
yes.
should try and do that first.
Yeah, I
for
was gonna
sure.
say, like, do you want Diedrich to go with you? Because Diedrich is very like
Diedrich
Uh,
wants to
Man.
go with you. Very
Diedrich is
strongly.
the muscle mommy of the group.
I feel
Yes.
like Dick might be helpful also.
Dick, you know how when the Baron was here, your dog kind of was getting a little anxious or growly once in a while. You've noticed the more that you've spent time with Dana. When Dana talks, he kind of gets the same way.
You kick my dog.
I didn't even have to hear you, Kayla. I could say that I could hear you say rude.
I would never.
You kicked my dog.
Automatically assume.
That is a throwback. That is a throwback.
That's a clip right there.
Yep.
That is a.
You kicked my dog.
I feel like I mean everyone. I'd take any help I could get, but I feel like we could either try to lift the pistol off him, or I could poison him to death, and we could take it. Or okay, maybe option A. And if things go south, I got my man Diedrich here with me.
Okay. So
You-
I'll do
do you
whatever
think-
it is you need me to do, but I strongly suggest to not cause any death that we can avoid.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Do you think that you have a better sleight of hand than you do a charming wit?
Me? No, I'm
Yes.
old and slow. But I can distract.
Because
I
perhaps
can-
you should just try and
I-
talk to him first and see what
I can
becomes of it.
bedazzle.
Yeah, a little razzle dazzle. Give him the old sparkle. Oh, that was good timing with the music.
Really good.
Why
I
don't we
think
have,
it's important to note that this whole time everyone's been talking, Diedrich pulled out the world's tiniest like little feather duster and is like cleaning off Richard and the dog as best he can,
okay.
Aw.
and trying to make sure that like they're okay. There's no bruises. There's nothing like wrong. Like
Yeah, nothing like that. There's
Right.
there's
I
no
don't have to
bruising.
be group mom.
maybe the two of you, Dana and Lathel could distract the mother while the rest of us try to lift the gun.
Sure, we
So
could
she's-
try that, I
She's
suppose.
watching everybody like a hawk. Or a gargoyle, whichever way you
She
put
was
it.
such a delight to speak to the first time. I am just gunning to go talk to her again.
Well, I have a plan, and I pull out. I guess I would have like a little man purse sort
Okay.
of thing,
Yeah.
and I pull out a fine bottle of wine.
Yes.
You're not going to poison them, are you?
That's Plan B.
Okay. Maybe make it plan like E.
First I'll go C. All right.
Okay. So you make your way back into the inn. It's still busy, but the lunchtime rush has slowed down a little bit, and there's no trouble getting a table. But you can see the two brothers sitting in the corner, and they seem to be reliving their ousting of Oscar. They're like, yeah, then you did that, yeah, and then throw him down the steps, and yeah, they're very special.
Barkeep, a round of drinks for everyone. As I pull out my resources.
Oh, geez, they all throw their mugs in the air, and they cheer you on for that. And the godmother just scowls at you. The two brothers, though, seem very very for this.
I'll walk over to the table, and I have Diedrich and Dick close by if
Double
possible.
D's, yeah.
The double D's, yeah. I'll bring the double D's. I'll say, and as the server brings the drinks over to the boys, I'll be no, not for them. Something special for them. I pull out this bottle of wine.
Oh, well, they slide their they immediately whatever they're drinking they dump, and they like put their mugs.
Well, they're supposed to be. Okay, can you get a little distraction on the mother first?
Okay, so who do we have? Dana and Liesel going over to the mother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make sure to as we go in, I make sure to sort of take pictures of the place.
Okay.
And then when we get to what is her name?
The
Adela?
godmother? Yep.
Yeah. When we get kind of near her, I would sort of lean into the journalist aspect of my character.
Yep. So you're allowed to use
make a show of making notes and that sort of thing, and talking a little bit loudly to Dana about possibly writing an article about the place and things like that.
Okay. So you get a little closer, and she's like, "So you're back? We threw your priest friend out."
Yes,
we saw.
Such a bother.
Yeah, he can be like that sometimes.
But
very strong-willed.
What's with the camera?
I'm a writer, and I like to take pictures that go along with the articles I write.
You ever had your picture taken, ma'am?
No.
Produces quite a likeness. Something that lives on for eternity, long after you've passed.
So you'd like to take my picture?
If you would be so willing.
Do you want to give me a manipulation check to see if you could smooth this over on her? Or what was it you were allowed to use instead when you're sort of pushing the journalist angle?
It was...
I think you're allowed to use inspiration instead of manipulation.
Yeah. Okay. And do I get anything because Dana's helping, or is...
Oh yes, absolutely. You get a +1 dice. Oh, there, Dana rolled. She got 1 on manipulation. So you just roll yours as well, and we'll see what you get. Oh wow.
4.
Nice.
Like, maybe it's the angle. Maybe it's the idea that you feel like not many people come here to speak to her.
To her, yeah.
And for just a moment, you feel like you've the idea of having her picture taken and everything, she quickly gets on board with you. She doesn't lose her gruff tone, but she's agreeable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I make sure to distract her with that, making sure that explaining how the camera works and things like that,
Okay.
and then how it's gonna take the pictures and I looked up what kind of cameras they would have had kind of back then.
Okay.
And they would have had a portable version of the
Yeah.
accordion camera
Okay.
that would have gone.
Like the Polaroid, yeah.
Yeah, the very old school Polaroids.
Yep.
So it would be like that.
Okay.
Cool.
I imagine that that with Liesel, that Dana is kind of positioning the godmother, oh, this is the angle we want you in, hold this pose,
Yes.
And kind of
One of those very
ruffling her
strong-
hair a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell
Yeah.
she is out of her element.
Yeah, we just make sure to
This
position
is
her
a
so that it's,
woman that
her
is never
strongest
doted on
angle
or
and-
anything. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you have such a strong chin, madam, and if you tilt your face just a little bit this way, we could really capture the angle. And I kind of put my body between her and the doctor and the rest of them.
Okay. All right. So you feel like you have done your part of this job. So those of you over at the table, Dana and Liesel they've got this woman eating out of the palm of their hands.
So I'll pour a couple wines for the boys. And
The one goes you're pouring into mugs, and the one sniffs it and goes, "What's the year?"
Oh, it's 1820.
Oh. The other one's like, "Good year." But no roll necessary. You can tell they have no idea.
And as he takes a drink, I go, oh, it looks like you might have a cavity there. And one of his...
Oh, of many. They're like, you feel like you've maybe hit a sore spot there. Oh, really? You
Yeah,
got
let
a
me
problem
have
with my teeth?
No, I think they look great. I think that right there, you might need Can I just have a look? I'm trying to get him to lean over the table.
Are you a tooth doctor?
Along with my many other skills, yes.
He's a doctor. Let him look at your tooth. It's teeth.
And I'm going to look over at Dick and give him a wink as he leans over towards me.
Okay. Is this
And
Dick's cue to grab the gun or something?
Exactly, yes.
Dick, you want to give me a stealth check? However, these are not these are salt of the earth people, so you don't get your extra 2 dice on these two.
And Dietrich, be ready to punch.
Would this be assisting because you're looking at the teeth of one of them?
Yep.
For the other one, can I pull out a chair, sit down, and hold out my arm and be like, "You look like you have quite an arm there.
Sure.
Care to test it?"
Go ahead and give me. You can take +1 on your roll there, Dick. So when it asks you for a modifier, just put a 1 in there. So Dick, you reach for the gun, and suddenly the man just stops cold as Dick has grabbed Dick, and
Can Dick push the roll?
Dick could push the roll if you'd like.
Push.
It will cause some a condition, but you can certainly push this roll.
Push the dick. Push the
Push
dick.
the dick.
Push it real good.
Do I just re-roll?
You would that's correct. You would re-roll that roll with consequence, basically.
Come on, Dick.
Do I still get a +1?
Yes, you do. It's the exact same roll. And I am just going to jump to my rules here just to double check pushing. So let's see what we get here.
Hey!
3 successes. Fantastic.
Nice.
So, having failed the test, you can choose to push the roll. When pushing your roll, you suffer a condition. If using physical or precision, then you choose a physical condition. And if you're using logic or empathy. So I'm going to say this is a physical condition. So on Dick's character sheet, you'll need to mark off one of the physical conditions for pushing here. Either, exhausted. Maybe it's just the day. You climbed a chimney and everything today. Maybe that's what you take. Or, trying to think of... Or battered, probably not battered or wounded, but how about exhausted?
Don't worry, Dick, I can fix you up.
So go ahead and check that, Dick. So Dick does get the gun, though. It slides out as the guy's like leaned into Dr. Klaus, like. And meanwhile, Diedrich is like arm wrestling the other one.
Can I roll for that? I want to win this.
Absolutely. Let's do an opposed force check, please.
And you said before we don't need to add any modifiers. It should automatically.
It should automatically do that. That's correct. And I have to check these guys' force modifiers.
Dickie's got a gun.
Aw, Dick.
I agree, though.
Okay. So Diedrich got 1 success. And so did Pace. So it's a stalemate. You're like...
Yeah, we're just like...
We'll go ahead and roll again. Let's see if we can break this stalemate. Pace again gets 1 success. He is surprisingly strong for his age. Oh, it's still a stalemate. So you guys have now finished taking the gun, and this arm wrestling match is going on beside you. Let's do one more roll here, Diedrich.
Start taking bets. This is getting intense.
Oh, you crush him.
That's it for peace.
Yeah.
That's right.
Suddenly, like, you just get some leverage and boom, down goes his arm. There's a fair amount of like cheering in that. You can see though that you have severely bruised his ego. So much, in fact, he like gets up and slinks away from the table back towards his mother.
So noticing that I look down and the pistol's just gone.
Yes.
I'm still looking in his mouth, and I'm like, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that.
Oh, great.
Enjoy the wine, though.
Oh, of course. And he just drinks it. Not like, doesn't sip it, just gulps the wine. And he puts his hand out as if to take the bottle for another glass.
Nah.
You're going to take it away?
Yeah.
Put the cork back in. He seems very disappointed with that. You guys have taken a couple pictures of the godmother, and then you can see that what happened at the other table has completed.
Perfect plan.
Well, we don't like rush away or anything like that because we don't want it to look suspicious or anything.
Are you asking any questions or?
Yeah, like asking just sort of generic questions about like what the average like haul would be and how they decide on like prices and that sort of thing and how they really have sort of like helped the community in that thing.
Well, you guys have made your original roles were good enough that she answers some questions relatively honestly. You feel like you don't know that you don't feel like she's deceiving you. And then her one son comes over, and he's very upset. He's like, Mom, that guy over there cheated and won at arm wrestling. She's like, cheated? And he points over at Diedrich, and the woman excuses herself from the two of you.
Thank you for your time, ma'am. We'll be on our way then.
Okay, and she
And,
starts
I
walking
think we should
over
just leave.
towards Diedrich and the rest. You guys just leave at that point?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll just go pay the tab and then head out.
You all are leaving me. That's fine.
So Diedrich, you're
You're young and strong.
one-on-one with the godmother as she gets up close to you, and she's like, "Hey, did you embarrass my boy?"
Did nothing of the sort, ma'am. No.
Yeah, he did, Mom. He did. And the other brother gets up, almost, and you get the distinct feeling like they're itching for an opportunity for their mom to essentially just sick them on you. But she doesn't. She looks at you and she twists her fingers in sort of a weird way. Like, like... And, and she's like, the new moon is coming.
Oh, shit, you've been cursed.
And then she walks away from you.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think.
Right? Like...
I don't know what to do with that, so great.
So are we waiting to go to dinner then? I assume you leave the inn to get out of the way of the godmother, but you have the gun now.
Dick hasn't shot himself with the gun.
You have the gun. It's missing 2 rounds.
Is there anything to observe about this weapon, like the firearm?
It is more a showpiece than, say, a instrument than a weapon.
But
it has the ability to fire. It carries 6 rounds. 2 of them have been shot. There's 4 remaining in the revolver.
Are they like legit bullets? Like if this is just a showpiece?
No, they're legit bullets. The gun is totally capable of firing, but you don't think that was its intention. It's meant to be like a gift or something, and Oscar did say it had been given to the vicar as a gift.
So he shot at something, it took it away from him and shot him.
Possibly. Okay. I was curious about how many bullets were in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel if they stole the gun, they probably don't have more ammunition, like to refill it.
It does not appear so. The empty shells are still inside the revolver.
Okay.
And it don't see it like it. The bullets themselves are just regular bullets.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing weird or anything like that.
You know how to use one of those?
Like, you would not be surprised if the vicar didn't have bullets for it and just went and bought bullets for it.
Right.
I close the gun up and twirl it, and I'm like, I've seen some shit, Doctor.
All right.
And the dog's like,
Diedrich is so concerned.
Okay. We could just go to dinner when it's time, or I don't know if there's anywhere else we want to look around. Do you want to check out the what's the word?
The saltery?
Factory?
Saltery. Yeah. Do you think we should do that before we go?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Question though.
Yeah.
What cycle of the moon are we in right now?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Dana is an occultist, so I'm not going to ask for a roll. I'm just going to... You know that the new moon is tomorrow night.
Oh. Okay.
So you make your way down to the fishery. And as you step in, there are, men and women packing barrels of herring. And there are massive tubs boiling away with train oil or whale oil. The stench is atrocious. I would like everyone, as they come into this place, to roll a force check for me.
Nah.
Nar.
Whoa.
Nar. Nar.
Nar. It looks like everyone failed.
Yeah.
We all just
What?
parole when we go in
Diedrich,
there.
you made it, right? You got 2?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Everyone but Diedrich, I would like you to take a physical condition as the stench here turns your stomach.
It's so bad I'm wounded.
That's right. That's right.
I'm exhausted.
I'm also exhausted.
All right, I'll go with exhausted too. Oh, is that 2 for? That's 2 for Dick.
Yeah.
That's not great.
So you take a look around inside. As I said, there's train oil. There's a train oil boiler from which a foul stench emanates. The main part of the warehouse is packed with barrels of salted herring and train oil. And there's feverish activity inside the warehouse as everyone is coming and going. Train oil is being cooked in 3 large cauldrons, and herring is salted in countless barrels. It's cramped, it's warm, and it's smelly in here. As you look about, can I have everyone make me an investigation check? Except for Diedrich. I'd like Diedrich to make a vigilance check.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. So you start taking...
We all are rolling garbage tonight.
You guys start to take a look around, and it's not long, Dick, before you see something that's a little... catches your eye
Is she?
and you feel is a little out of place. Next to a couple of empty herring barrels, in a secluded corner of the warehouse, you find a small pendant lying on the ground in the shape of a crucifix. Beside it is a dark stain, dried and suspicious looking.
Is it just a plain crucifix? There's nothing on it?
Yeah, it's on a very nice chain. You think it's maybe silver, probably plated silver. The clasp on the chain is broken.
Well, I pocket it.
Okay. Do you alert the others?
I'll be like, hey, there's a weird stain over here.
Hey, Dick, you look a little green in the gills there, bud.
Yeah, I'm a little tired, a little woozy from all those chemicals being inside that chimney. It's been a while.
I might have something in my bag here that would help.
Some cocaine.
I would like to administer some medicine, probably ether, to Dick.
All right. Do you have your medicine kit there as well?
I have my medical equipment, yes.
And does it say that it gives you a modifier? I think it probably does.
It gives me a modifier of 2.
Okay. So, go ahead and give me a medicine check with a 2 modifier.
As I'm doing that, can I light up my beautifully ornamented pipe?
Yes.
Can I take this moment? And does that remove a condition?
That removes a condition from yourself.
Okay, so as I'm applying medicine like a good doctor, I light up my pipe, as you do, and I'm going to remove my exhausted condition.
And could you tell us a little bit about the pipe? Like, does it have a significance to the doctor?
This pipe was actually on the corpse, or it was on the body of my trauma from my Vaesen trauma. I ended up taking the pipe from it.
Okay.
I had a corpse come back to life during an autopsy. And this was his pipe.
Well done.
So I kept the pipe.
So you can remove a physical or mental condition, and then I would like you to roll a medicine check.
Okay, with a modifier of 2. I have 2 successes on 9 dice.
Excellent. So so it doesn't happen immediately, but if you can just get Dick somewhere and lie down, get him, a drink of water, you will restore those 2 conditions.
Oh, it does both. Okay.
Well, with your roll, yes.
Okay. Here you go, Dick. Just sniff this.
Oh, wow. I've never seen a doctor before.
Also, I'll just let you with the same medicine check. When Dick called you over, there is a blood stain on the ground. A significant amount of blood.
Can I guess I wouldn't be able to tell if it was like human or fish, per se, right?
No, absolutely. Give me another medicine check. Let's see.
Can I use my medical equipment again?
Sure. You get like some sort of eye monocle or something out for better inspection.
Who? Okay. Yeah, 2 successes.
Definitely human. Because the fish, there's lots of fish being cut up in here, and it does not stain like that. This is human blood. This did not happen yesterday, though. It looks like it's been here a while, but it stained the ground here.
And is it? You said it's just in a secluded corner of the.
Yes, and with an extra success, you notice maybe a bit of splatter on one of the posts or something. You suspect someone was maybe struck here. With the amount of blood, probably a head wound.
Okay. Does it look like? I guess I wouldn't be able to tell the.
You don't think it was a gunshot?
Okay, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Like bludgeoning, like some bludgeoning.
Yes.
So I've gone full Dexter. All right. I'll after I give Dick the ether and notice that, I'll tell the rest of the group.
Okay. All right.
It seems we have a large blood stain over here, not fish. Something happened here.
Does it have a smell?
Fishy. It's all very
Beyond
fishy.
that.
Oh, I don't know. Did it smell like anything in particular?
No. It's been here long enough that there's not even flies or maggots or anything in it. It is. There's that sound. It is totally. If one were to guess, Doctor, it's been here a few weeks.
Was anybody like? I don't know if I would have had time to notice because I was doing what I was doing, but if anyone was paying any particular attention to me when I was in that area of the. Dick and I were over in that area.
Well, you're still there. Would you like to make a vigilance check?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Dick, you see anybody give us a stink eye? I'm just gonna make.
Dick, do you want to help?
Oh yeah, I'm so vigilant.
So let's have the doctor make. Who's got the higher vigilance?
Probably not me.
What is Diedrich's vigilance?
Oh no, actually, I might be pretty good because it's on logic.
Yeah, vigilance uses logic. I think Diedrich's was 3.
Yeah, mine's 2.
Okay, I have a 5 plus 1.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your vigilance.
Okay.
And I don't think you have any condition modifiers.
I have a success.
A success. Well, as you look around, down at the entrance in, right across the saltery, the two brothers are watching.
Oh, son of a bitch. We didn't notice them like come in behind us. They like
I
they
did
followed
give.
us.
I will tell you this. I gave someone a roll and they did not get it.
Okay.
Sorry. But that was my oops.
Dick, we've been made.
That's only you, Turkey.
And the dog
I'll,
barks at that.
I'm gonna kind of pretend like I wasn't looking at anything, like I didn't notice anything. Over
Okay.
there. And I'll walk back over towards the group. I'm like, oh, this
And
kind of like
I'll
just kind of
say
looking around like I don't know.
the group is certainly alerted to the presence of the brothers watching from a distance. Still keeping
Act
an eye
natural.
on you.
Act natural.
Walk casual.
Fly casual.
Exactly. Okay. So do you head for dinner? Or is there something else the group would like to do?
Are there people? So there's people in here just hustling and bustling about. Is there someone that Deidre could like pull aside and ask about? I'm assuming you guys brought up like the bloodstain and everything to the rest of the group.
I think the bloodstain was brought up, but the crucifix was not.
I feel like Deidre would want to try to just ask someone passing by, like, do you happen to know anything about that spot over there? That seems off.
Okay. Give me a manipulation check to see if they take the time to talk to Diedrich or if they just brush him off. What kind of spot?
Yeah, and he points in the direction where that area is, and just everywhere else seems rather clean, which I do appreciate, but that spot was missed. Any reason why? I have an eye for this. It's my job.
He says, I don't know. Looks like blood, maybe. I don't know. Maybe somebody spilled something there, or maybe they cut their hand. You don't feel like he's being deceitful. You feel like he honestly does not know.
Doesn't know. Okay. Yeah, you just kind of wanted to get the feel, and
yeah, absolutely.
Like they wouldn't really know.
There's a cat fight.
I sent you a message, Jared. If you want
I saw it. So, the party. I'm gonna say that we're running out of time for tonight. So let's have the party moves on to dinner at the Herring Baron's house, and then we can pick up right there on our next session next week. Thanks again, everybody that came out and checked us out. We'll plug Canadian Dice again as our sponsor, and head over to CanadianDice.ca. Check out all of Ryan's stock. There's lots of new dice in with Christmas time on the horizon. You can get yourself a set, or maybe for that special someone in your life, and use the code OMRD so that you can save a little bit of money on that purchase, 15% off all purchases at CanadianDice.ca. And thank you to Potions and Potpourri. Go and check out the podcast anywhere you get your podcast. Do we have a new episode that's out right now?
We sure don't.
I know that feeling. But you guys have an amazing back catalog, so go over.
We do.
Go over, have a listen. Check them out on Instagram as well if you have not already. We will be playing Vaesen again in a week's time. Sunday night again. Same bat time, same bat channel.